Bhagavad Gita 3:42. Indriyani prani adu indriyabhi paramana manastu parabuddhir yo buddhir parastu sa. Indriyani senses, prani superior, adu are said, indriyabhi more than the senses, param superior, manna this mind, manasa more than the mind, two also para superior, buddhi intelligent, ya who buddhi more than the intelligence, paratha superior to, but sa he. Translation. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind, and the soul is even higher than the intelligence. I'll read it again. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than senses. Intelligence still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. Purport. The senses are different outlets for the activities of lust. Lust is reserved within the body, but it is given vent through the senses. Therefore, the senses are superior to the body as a whole. These outlets are not in use when there is superior consciousness or Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, the soul makes direct connections with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the hierarchy of the body functions as described here ultimately ends in the Supreme Soul bodily action. Okay, from here. Bodily action means the functions of the senses, and stopping the sense means stopping all bodily actions. But since the mind is active, even when the body may be silent and at rest, the mind will act as it does during the dreaming. But above the mind is the determination of intelligence, and above intelligence is a super proper. If, therefore, the soul is directly engaged with the Supreme, naturally, all the other subordinates, namely the intelligence, mind, and senses, will be automatically engaged. In the Katha Upanishad, there is similar passage in which it is said that the objects of sense gratification are superior to the senses, and mind is superior to the sense object. If therefore the mind is directly engaged in the service of the Lord constantly, then there is no chance that the sense will become engaged in other ways. Let me read there again. If therefore the mind is directly engaged in the service of the Lord constantly, then there is no chance that the senses will become engaged in other ways. This mental attitude has already been explained. Param drishtav nivrate. If the mind is engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is no chance of it being engaged in the lower propensities. In the Katha Upanishad, the soul has been described as Mahan, the great. Therefore, the soul is above all, namely the sense object, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. Therefore, directly understanding the constitutional position of the soul is the solution of the whole problem. With intelligence, one has to seek out the constitutional position of the soul and then engage the mind always in Krishna consciousness. That solves the whole problem. The neophyte spiritualist is generally advised to keep aloof from the objects of the senses, but aside from that, one has to strengthen the mind by use of intelligence. If by intelligence one engages one's mind in Krishna consciousness by complete surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then automatically the mind becomes stronger. Even though the senses are very strong, like the serpents, they will no more effect than serpents with broken fangs. But even though the soul is the master of intelligence, the mind and the senses also, still unless it is strengthened by association with Krishna, in Krishna consciousness, there is every chance of falling down due to the agitated mind. Hare Krishna.